Press the little thing.
Wait, it has a button? Holy shit. Was not expecting that.
All right.
All right.
Kick us off.
Welcome back, everyone, to a very special episode of Game Tasting. We hinted at it a little bit.
His name is Dorian,
His name is Jay.
and we're still your hosts.
We're still your hosts. We're doing a little something special, a little something special today. We hinted at it before, but today is all about a card game. Actually,
You guys might notice that there is the real Captain America shield made out of vibranium, the
Yes.
real deal.
And Meow Meow.
Yeah, Mjolnir is here as well.
Yes.
I couldn't lift it though.
Yeah, I had to bring it in for him.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
the game itself.
Yes, Marvel Champions is what we're talking about today.
So
Honestly,
Marvel Champions. Quick question or a quick little brief thing on what it is. It's a living card game that's pretty much capturing everyone that is a fan of Marvel and card games all together.
Yeah.
It's not in the same breath. I wouldn't consider it a TCG, much like Magic or Pokemon.
Do you want to explain maybe what a living card game is?
Yes. So a living card game is a version of a game played with cards, a deck of cards. Each player has a deck of cards where you are now able to play by yourself or with friends. Living in that sense means that it has its own set of rules that it can essentially operate by itself.
Yes. And it's like updated over time.
Yes.
Yeah. There's another aspect of it that I don't know if this is a living card game thing specifically, but like, you know, as opposed to something like Pokemon, right, where you go and get booster packs and you don't know what you're going to get.
This is not one of those.
Exactly. When you buy like a box or a character pack or something, you know what cards you're going to be getting. Like if you need a certain kind of card, you can go and buy that pack and you know you're going to get it.
Yeah.
So
You don't need to fish
yeah,
to get the cards that you want. It's not like Pokemon, like you're saying.
exactly. But yeah, so this was until somewhat recently. Ooh, until somewhat recently, I never. I'm sorry. Am I?
Sorry, you're
am
not
I boring you?
You're not
We
interrupting me.
just started, bro. Until just recently, I'd never really been like a board game, card game kind of person.
Yeah.
Like the only ones that I knew about were like Monopoly, or like
I don't even consider that a card game.
board game, like for tabletop kind of thing.
I see.
Not a video game, I guess is what I'm saying. I knew about like Monopoly and like Candyland
Oh, yeah.
back then, and then like I'd heard about things like Settlers of Catan.
Catan
right?
is
That was like
amazing.
the big one that like was super popular, but I never really got into them. Mainly because I don't know, it just never seemed appealing. And then I was having lunch with a friend of mine. Shout outs to Ernesto. He's
not dead.
Yeah, he's just I don't know where he is.
He's not dead. That was weird.
Yeah. But he told me about this game, and what caught my ear about it was that it was like a co-op game. That's what blew my mind. Because like I when I thought of board games, I was like, it's just
Compete.
yeah, competitive. Like Monopoly. You try to win.
the
Settlers
game of life.
Catan. You try to win.
Game of life.
Yeah, Game of Life. You try to win.
Shoots and ladders.
Shoots and ladders. You try to win.
1v1.
Yeah, and it's 1v or 4.
It's a battle royale.
Yeah, it's a battle. It is. And so when he said like this is co-op, I was like, what? What does that mean in like a card game? What is?
Yeah.
It blew my mind. And so literally, we were having lunch next to this place called the Emerald Tavern, and I'm like, we're going there like after this. And I bought the game day of. I told you about it. I specifically bought you a Doctor Strange character pack.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this will get him to play.
It did. It did.
And so, it's, that's kind of, this has been my gateway into board games in general. You have a little bit more.
I have a little bit more.
Yeah, because I
Just-
remember I played. It was like a Dungeons and Dragons thing
Yeah,
at your place once, but it wasn't like straight up Dungeons and
Yeah.
Dragons.
So like I mean, I introduced my family to the D&D world using this like the starter deck for D&D, where it's like a tabletop game, and then there's another one that I'm trying to remember the name of it, dude. I forgot. I'll have it up on here.
It's like Pathfinder or
yes,
something. Yeah,
Pathfinder's one.
yeah.
And then there's another one that I bought.
Okay.
Because I think it was like fucking $300. And then the reason I bought it was because Jane this summer was like super into painting minifigs. I don't know if you remember that.
A little bit.
She painted a lot
Yeah.
of miniature figs really well. And so this tabletop had a bunch that needed to be painted. She never got to it. Summer ended. And that was it. But my experience as far as those games, I've played a good bit because I like tabletop for board games. I'm also like unnecessarily competitive at Monopoly.
Okay. All right, and then I'm never gonna play with you then.
Both
probably.
Jane and I are extremely competitive
Yeah.
at Monopoly. It's disgusting. And TCGs, which isn't, it's a card game but not a board game.
Yeah.
So when you brought this up to me, where it's like, oh, it's a co-op card game, I was confused.
Yeah.
Much like you were,
Yeah.
because coming in again from the TCG standpoint, having played Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, that's 1v1.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean that we're now in the same team?
Yeah.
And so we played it. I played Doctor Strange. The wording on his character pack and the deck seems really fucking broken.
Well, he's a top tier character.
To be fair, he is
Yes.
extremely fucking broken.
He's really good.
He's
Which like
so
we'll
strong.
talk about like what that even means.
Yes.
But like, yeah.
So, like we're saying, Marvel Champions is a co-op card game where players team up as your iconic Marvel heroes to battle formidable villains. It's developed by Fantasy Flight Games.
Yes, which they're a big deal. Specifically in like the living card game
Yes.
arena.
And now
yes, and
the TCG arena.
yes, yeah, because
So-
they got you all might have heard of Star Wars Unlimited, hugely popular right now.
Right
Yeah.
now it's extremely hot. I would say it's in the top categories, competing alongside Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, not Yu-Gi-Oh, Lorcana, and One Piece. And then you have Star Wars. Star Wars, like for example in Austin, made by Fantasy Flight Games, fires every Tuesday at like 2 shops, and they're all fully booked always.
Emerald Tavern every Sunday has Star Wars Unlimited also, and like it's been going for like a long time too.
And the cards are gorgeous.
Yes.
I saw the chase cards. So like the expensive cards, the one that are like $100 each,
Woo.
look really fucking good.
Yeah, yeah, God, we're starting to go into the Star Wars Unlimited episode, but like it's got some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like the card where it's like you either like take certain amount of damage or you have to shout no because the card is called "I am your father" and stuff like that. It's fun.
And then going back into Marvel,
Yes.
so it's a game that emphasizes teamwork, strategy, and storytelling.
Yes.
Funny enough,
Yeah.
because there's typically
Yeah.
I'll speak
So
on it.
this box right here is like the core set, right? Which this came out in 2019, I believe. So it's been going for like a few years now. God, it's 2025. Holy shit. Oh man. Anyway, so it's been going on for 6 years. Take a bite of that pizza, but you need to recover from
Go ahead.
Yeah, so this came out in 2019, and this box came with like I think 5 characters and then 3 encounters, which is like what the game is. It's and whenever you play a Marvel Champions game, you're doing an encounter, but it didn't really have like. It only kind of had hints of a story. So like when you're playing the card, like the cards that came with the villains, like their schemes. Oh my god.
Keep going.
The cards that like are the villain schemes, they had like some flavor text on them, so you kind of got like a little bit of a sense of like, oh, you're supposed to play, you're supposed to fight Rhino first because he's robbing a bank trying to get vibranium, and then the next fight you fight Claw because he's trying to get away with the vibranium, and then like the last fight is Ultron as like
Who's made of vibranium.
made of vibranium. So you're like able to kind of see like a little bit of a story there, but then starting with the very first expansion, which was Rise of Red Skull, they started sort of releasing like a storyline that you could kind of play through with each expansion. And when you did it that way, all the fights have like extra little like conditions to kind of give it more of like a story flavor. You know,
It's really good.
It's really good. Like you know, certain fights like will start with like a certain side scheme in play where you have to like rescue like additional helpers and stuff. But you like if it was just a regular game, you wouldn't have to worry about that. So, but you know, and then there will be things where when you finish one encounter, if you like did certain criteria, certain things will carry over to the next fight.
Correct.
And stuff like that. So it's like really cool how they kind of introduced like a storyline for the campaigns.
Yeah. So let me get into a little bit of the gameplay mechanics. So there's core components to this game, which
Yes.
is like the hero decks, the alter egos, and the hero modes. And then there's villain phases. Do you want to talk a little bit about what each hero deck technically entails without going too deep? Because
Right. Yeah. So like, I guess what we can start with is like, what's the goal, right? What's the goal when you start playing? The goal is like every encounter has a villain that you're trying to beat, right? So like, let's take Rhino for example. It's like the most basic one. He's like the tutorial fight for this game.
Yeah.
So you're trying to beat Rhino. So there's Rhino the character, and he's got like a certain amount of health. So you want to like lower his health to 0, and then you win. But the thing is, alongside Rhino himself, he's got a scheme that he's trying to do, right? And the scheme, every time it's the villain's turn, it gains what is called threat. And when a scheme reaches a certain amount of threat, then the villain wins, even if he hasn't like knocked you out or anything like that, right? So you're kind of having to like balance attacking the villain while also thwarting the scheme to like keep the threat down. And so that's where the different types of characters kind of really come in. What is happening?
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
So what you're trying to do when you're making like your character's deck is like you have your character and their special unique abilities, but then you also kind of want to tailor your deck to kind of be strong against either you want to go hard on like attacking the villain, or you want to be someone that can help keep the thwart or the threat down on all these schemes. So that's kind of what goes into making a hero deck, because at the end of the day, when you're doing your turn, you're trying to either do damage or you're trying to thwart.
Yes. And so to go a little bit now into the hero and alter ego. So you can be a hero. One side of the card
Yes.
is a hero. That's your in mask. You're ready to cause irreparable damage
Right.
kind of thing. And then the other one is your day job.
Yes, exactly.
So there's an alter ego mode. It allows you for like strategic retreating, right? And then when you're retreat and you're a hero, when you're an alter ego, you can't be hit
right. And that's
'Cause
also
you're a
when you're able
regular-
to recover health.
because you're a regular dude.
You're just regular Joe
and so
Schmo.
you're able to kind of plan when you're in that mode on what you're supposed to do next. Because there's interplay between hero abilities and like the importance of timing your big cards.
Yeah.
So-
and there are also cards that like can only be used when you're in certain modes. Like there are cards that can only be used when you're in alter ego mode.
Yes. Yeah. And so let me go break down to you all what the turn is. So a hero's turn is you play your cards, you activate your abilities, and then you attack, right? Attack or remove
thwart.
threat.
Yeah.
That's what you do in your turn. And then after, let's say me and Dorian are playing he does his hero turn, I do my hero turn, it doesn't go back to Dorian. It goes to the villain phase,
Yes.
where there is now the villain's turn to play the game. And this is where the term living card game comes from, is because we don't need a third player to play the villain.
Yeah, yeah. No actual person is really playing the villain.
It's just by design,
Yeah.
the game operates in a way where the villain kind of operates in that specific way. And so the villain phase has like scheme activation. Then you get your encounter cards and you start managing threat.
That's when all hell breaks loose.
Yes, that's when the shenanigans.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like you said, like he attacks, and then you get an encounter card, which is like, just something happens. You don't know what it's going to be. It might be that like one of the villain's minions starts attacking
you. Or it might be specific to a hero in your group.
Right, because yes, that's another thing that makes up everyone's hero deck. Is everyone's hero deck has like all the cards that you want to use, but then they also has what's called its nemesis deck, which is basically every superhero has a nemesis, right? And so in the game, there's a certain encounter card that makes it so whatever hero you're playing, their nemesis strengths.
Something like that. I think with Spider-Man, it's like Uncle Ben getting clapped.
Oh, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah, because most people's, it's like their nemesis, but yeah, there are a few where it's a little special.
Where it's
condition.
like specific. It's like what triggers the.
Yeah,
beating.
I have Venom, Agent Venom specifically, and he doesn't have like a specific nemesis. What actually happens is instead you put a bunch of symbiote minions in the deck, so they it's just like kind of out of control, So it all kind of fits thematically with whatever character you're playing.
So I want to know, Dorian, a little bit, not so much about the gameplay. What is your favorite hero deck to play?
Oh man, that is a tough. So like type or specific hero?
So let's do specific.
Specific. That's the harder question.
And then going into like the type of gameplay that you do.
Gotcha. Yeah. So specific. That is. For the longest time, I think it was Scarlet Witch, but I've always loved just the character Scarlet Witch. But most recently, I've actually been playing Psylocke.
Oh, he a gooner. Psylocke from Marvel Rivals.
From Marvel Rivals. Yeah, which actually, playing her deck was very different because it's a totally different type of deck, which, to explain, so, when I was playing Scarlet Witch, and honestly a few other characters, I always kind of went the same type, which, in the game, I use what's called justice cards. Because there's 4 different types of cards. There's leadership, justice, aggression, and protection. Which they all kind of do different things, right? And so justice cards are usually about thwarting. Or kind of playing a balance between doing some damage, but also really wanting to focus on keeping the scheme kind of under control. And so as Scarlet Witch, a lot of the time I was just doing a lot of thwarting using my the justice cards, and her unique cards kind of in tandem with that. With Psylocke, though, her deck uses a lot of aggression cards, so she's all about dealing damage. I'm not doing much thwarting. If I'm playing with other people, I'm gonna really hope that my teammates are thwarting the scheme.
Gotcha.
Because I'm focusing all on doing big damage. Yeah. What about you? Is it Doctor Strange or? Oh, that's right.
So, the autist in me went really in on this, and I went and looked at so someone already made a spreadsheet on this game, as far as card power on every card in the game, and so I built Riri, which is Riri Williams' Ironheart. It's a deck that is slow rolling because it has 3 phases. You need to evolve your Ironheart suit to versions 3, right? So Tony had the Mark 41, Mark 42. Riri has 3. And you get stronger, of course, with every single one. But it requires a good amount of resources to be devoted into evolving. And so the beginning couple turns of the game, I'm wet noodle.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
contribute, but as soon as I hit Ironheart Mark 3, I can take over the game. I could
Yeah.
legitimately almost solo the game. It's that powerful because the deck is built around her hitting the third mark because her cards are empowered by the level of her armor. Where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you with the damage, you'll do 2 plus 1 depending on the base of your armor. So if
Yeah,
you're Mark
yeah.
3, you're doing 5.
So you're basically like the first. You're just like trying to get your suit
Yeah,
on.
I'm trying to fix
You're
it.
just trying to like, get everything on.
I'm trying to fix this in a cave.
Yeah. With a box of
With a
scraps.
box of scraps. Trying to do that in a cave.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool how they sort of do that thematically, and
The themes are very fantastic. Like with producer Jane, she plays, and her deck is Thor.
yes, she loves Thor.
She doesn't really do good with thwarting threat.
Yeah.
She's more of like taking care of everyone's minions all at
Right,
once.
which makes sense because like Thor in like the movies and stuff, he's like slamming the
Yeah,
ground.
go ahead, pick that hammer up.
He's slamming the ground.
Go press the little thing.
Wait, it has a button? Holy shit. Was not expecting that. Whoa.
Yeah. That's courtesy of my brother. He got us like he got us Marvel themed Christmas gifts.
That's sick.
It was amazing. I love it. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
This is metal. Look.
Literally vibranium.
It's legit. You could punch a baddie on this in the neck. A bad guy, not a baddie.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. But yeah, so Thor, that's what he's doing, right? He's like he's taking out a bunch of like smaller dudes. So
Yes.
the deck is very much a lot of his strengths are dealing small amounts of damage, but to like multiple targets.
And then at some point, it can pivot into
Yes.
where Thor is now doing 13 per hit.
yes, like she swings hard.
Yeah.
But
And-
then like I guess I'll explain a little bit more about Scarlet Witch is like
Sure.
how she plays. Like, her whole thing is chaos magic, right?
Yes.
Yes. I blanked on the pure chaos. And so the way that kind of shines through in her deck is kind of playing off of chance. And so like she'll have a card where if you play it, you draw 3 cards from the encounter deck. And encounter cards have these things called boosters on there. And that's usually what tells you like how much damage they do. But so you use the number of boosters to determine what the card does. And so it's completely kind of up to chance, what you're drawing. So that's where like the chaos comes. But you can kind of like use her power to control that chaos. Literally, her ability is called Chaos Control.
That's cool.
Chaos Control! And so what you can do is like, oh, I don't like that card. I don't like the number on that card. I'm going to draw another one, Or, yeah, another one where it's just like, I don't like that. I'm going to pay this, this number of resources, and that just...
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah.
No more mutants.
And it's not just the heroes that get this.
Yes.
So the villains also get it. So like with Ultron, he can have an overwhelming amount of minions to where he sends Ultron bots everywhere.
Yes.
And that's where characters like Thor go in handy because he can handle multiple things. But that's Ultron. And then you have Green Goblin who has chaos-inducing schemes. And the characters themselves, as the villains, have their own personality. And
Yeah.
they're not the lame ones where it's like very one-sided, one-dimensional. It is not. And the villains are very much just like how your character is.
Yeah. Even though the rules of the game are the same every fight does feel different.
Yeah.
Just because
There's
what
no
those
two
unique
games
cards.
that are the same.
Yeah. Probably like the most unique one was there's a fight where you're technically fighting both Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive at the same time, which are nerd names. They're two of Thanos' minion
Goons.
dudes, right? But like, they're like attacking Avengers Tower, so you're like supposed to be defending against both of them, and so like they're each phase they like swap off. They're like sort of tag teaming the players and stuff. Like that was interesting.
Them attacking the Avengers Tower seems kind of ridiculous. Right?
Yeah, and then one of the cool things is like that helps them feel very much like their characters, especially if you're doing like a campaign mode. Like I remember I was playing with some friends, and this was so cool to me that we were fighting Thanos.
Yeah.
And surprise, he wasn't the last fight of the expansion.
Well, spoilers.
I'm not gonna tell you who was the last
Spoilers.
fight, but he wasn't. I was like surprised. And so what was cool though is like his scheme had 2 phases, and we weren't able to stop him before the first phase completed. And because of that, he did the Thanos snap.
Oh,
I know. And so the next fight, kind of like talking about how things will like, if certain conditions are met from one fight to the other will carry over. Because he snapped, when you start the next encounter, you only start with half your deck. Because he snapped it out of existence.
sick.
It's like thematically, that's so cool. Sucks in the game because I'm like, I need my cards, but like,
That's so cool.
yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool how that works out. Every fight really feels different.
Yeah, and with that being like that, so with the expansion, so let's say that you're someone that ends up playing, you love the storyline, you play solo dolo, and you finish. A new expansion comes out relatively often, so
Yeah.
it keeps the game fresh and it adds a lot of depth
Yes.
into the game.
Yeah.
And Marvel Champions really isn't just a game because it tells very dynamic stories. And it almost feels every time you play, it almost feels like you jump in a panel of a comic book.
Yeah, and actually, like in each expansion, it comes with like the little rule book for like how to set up each encounter. But in between each encounter, there actually is like a little comic book story that kind of tells the like in between each fight what's going on. It's really cool.
And the best part, again, is that you can play this solo or as a group.
Yes.
The difference between solo and group dynamics exists.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever played it solo?
One time.
How was it?
It has a totally different vibe. Because it's interesting. Like you would think that playing with more people would almost make it easier, but actually I think it's probably depending on the fight. I've only ever gone against the Rhino, which is like the easiest one because I basically use him if I'm ever like putting together a new deck. I basically just use him to like test it out on.
Yeah.
But so it probably depends on the fight. But when I'm going against Rhino solo, it feels actually easier than when I'm playing with more people. And that's because the way it works is the villain gets increased health
Yeah.
the more players that there are, right? And so with more health means he takes longer to take down, which means that there's more turns happening, which means more encounter cards, which encounter cards are the things that really like actually fuck you in this game. Because he'll attack you, sure.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like whenever you get directly attacked by the villain, it's not as bad as whatever some of those encounter cards can be.
Yeah.
That's how like things spiral out of control and you really have to do like damage control with them.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the game. I do. And
Yeah.
I still have my deck. I have it sleeved up. Dorian plays with his cards unsleeved.
It's because
I find that so weird, bro.
it's because
you have to take
you have
one
to
of your
take certain cards out and put them in like the encounter
and that's
deck.
why I
and
told
stuff.
him to just sleeve the entire fucking thing.
Well, but see, then the people I play with show up with their own decks,
And they need to
like,
fucking have your shit sleeved.
Well, but they'll be sleeved, but then they'll be like slightly different sizes, and it just doesn't like work very well. And no,
I'm just not,
Not
a
good
fan
enough.
I'm just not a fan of unsleeved cards. But that's also
I
the
get it.
TCG player. in
I
me.
get it. Yeah. No, I get
So,
it.
do you have any general gameplay tips you could give the folks?
General gameplay tips, I guess. So, one thing is like whenever you get either the core set or like a character pack, because that's the other way that you get cards, right? Is there's the core set and the expansion packs, but then they also release individual character packs. Whenever you buy one of these things, the characters that it comes with that you can play as come with like starter pre-made decks.
Yeah.
I think like if you're brand new to the game, definitely don't be afraid to use one of those just to like learn the game, because like they're
There's a Gambit
they're
one.
decent. Like they're you're not gonna be min maxing a fight with these decks or anything like this weirdo. But like they're put together by Fantasy Flight. Like they're not nothing, right?
They're designed to be intuitive for new players.
Right, and they're also designed to play off of whatever character they're associated with, right?
It's
And
like
so,
if you like, who cares about tier lists, bro? If you want to play Gambit and be a
well, Gambit's top tier.
and then get with Rogue, why not? You know,
Why not? Yeah. Don't necessarily pay attention to the
Don't
tier
lock
list.
yourself to tier list. I would suggest to not even look at tier lists, and
Yeah.
that's coming from a guy who tisms like
Right.
all over this kind of stuff.
One tip I'll give though is like you're very much the person. I feel like you and I are like sort of opposites, where your favorite part of a game like this is building the actual
Yeah, I
deck.
love it.
Like you like playing the game, but where you have a lot of the fun
Is the theory crafting?
theory
the building.
crafting, like what cards go together and everything. For me, I'm like the opposite. I love just playing the game and not necessarily like theory crafting. Putting a deck together is like it makes my brain hurt.
And you know that like this isn't the only game where Dorian's like that. So like in Marvel Snap,
Yeah.
I would give him just a deck,
yes,
and then he would pilot it to like really high.
yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah, that's true. So I guess one tip I would give if you're like me and you just want to like be able to play the game, but you don't want to necessarily use a pre-made pack, I would check out a website called marvelcdb.com.
Yeah,
Marvel Champions Database.
Yeah.
It's a great website.
it's a great resource.
Yeah, because it's basically just like a community sourced database of a bunch of decks that people have made. And so you can just go and search for, what character you want to play, what type of deck, like, justice, aggression, all that stuff. And it'll tell you like what cards you need to build it. And then you can just go in and play it. So that's that. Like I use that a lot.
So like one other thing. So the group dynamic, with it being different for solo play and group play, if you're playing solo, you want to probably have a more balanced deck to where you're both doing damage offensively and you're managing your threat because of your hero. Because like how Dorian was saying earlier, how he plays Psylocke and his intent is to just big damage, right?
Yeah.
You can't really do that solo. You're going to lose quick. If
solo,
you're specializing in
so solo, like it's possible. Like that's the thing that makes solo possible with that. It's like if you have the right cards, you could just
outright do
destroy
damage.
him fast before it can accumulate. But yeah, that's where
the more you progress, the more difficult it gets. And so that's one of my tips, is to just build a balanced deck. Especially if you're just learning the game. I think the best way to learn the game is to interact with every mechanic that the game provides you. So that way you're not just doing damage, but you're going back to alter ego to heal, or you're going to thwart some threat. It's the best way to learn the game is by playing the game.
Yeah.
And so when you play the game in a balanced way to where you're doing everything, multiple things, you kind of pick up on the game a lot easier. And that applies to pretty much, I think, for any game that I've played. It's like when you learn the game in that kind of level, then you start branching out, right? And yeah, like as far as another gameplay tip, a lot of shops probably have people who play this. And if you're someone who wants to play with a group but don't have friends that want to play the game, go to like your local hobby shop. I'm positive that they have it.
Yeah, I went to like a play, what do you call it? A free play or I can't remember, but like it was at Dragon's Lair, and like that was a lot of fun.
He got like a cool card.
Yes,
The comic book variant.
Yeah, they gave out like kind of just random variants of character cards from the game.
Dude, it's so sick.
Yeah.
And you know, the hero deck building part is like, let me see. It's like one of the things that I do like Dorian was saying. Um man, like what it is like Captain America has leadership cards for like a team boost
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's ally cards. You wanna sometimes add characters that aren't even in that world. But if you want to stay in that kind of theme where you're playing only from cards in
Yeah.
your world,
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's actually I guess that's one tip. I don't know if this is really a tip. This is more of just like a recommendation. It's something I've started doing with my friends is when we play through an expansion, we the characters we pick to play as are thematic for that expansion. So like when we're playing the X-Men expansion called Mutant. I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, there's like an X-Men themed thing where it's like all about like Magneto is the big villain and all that stuff. We all picked like X-Men characters.
That's so cool.
You know? And so like that was fun. Like
Are the decks built around also having only X-Men characters?
sometimes. So like for example, there are cards that like
Like X-Mansion, right?
yeah, exactly. Like where they're only beneficial if
No. I'm saying like, so like Avengers Tower is a really good card.
right. Oh.
Like
just not included
because
I didn't think that far.
Because it's only thematically X-Men.
I didn't think
I
that
think
far.
that would be fucking
That'd be
so
tough.
cool. Yeah.
Because Avengers Tower is such I like so many decks use Avengers
Yeah,
Tower.
all of them do.
That's I didn't think
Like-
that far. It's fun to do it where everyone's X-Men because you have cards that are the way they work is they're only beneficial toward characters that have certain traits like
Yeah, the
being an
X-Men
X-Men
tag.
trait.
Yeah.
So if everyone's playing X-Men, you're able to like help out everyone in the
Yeah.
group.
I think that'd be cool. That's a really cool kind of idea on how to do
it's
it.
fun. So you know, the Rise of Red Skull. I'm actually playing through that right now.
Red Skull.
Yeah, I'm actually. So here's another little cool thing. This game is actually it has a really good. I don't know if you call it a mod, but basically someone made it playable on Tabletop Simulator, and it's like it works really well. And so I've been playing it on Tabletop Simulator with someone, and we're playing through
With who?
Mike.
The one who plays GTA?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we're playing through Rise of Red Skull. And so, like, that one we're playing just, like, Avengers characters. So I'm playing, like, Scarlet Witch because it's all about, like, the Infinity Stones and all that. But then, yeah, another time I was playing with a different group of friends, and that's where I was, like, Gambit, but we're doing X-Men stuff. And so, what was my point with this? I lost my train of thought. Shit.
Well, if he doesn't have one, I'll say that if you're playing co-op, it's good to have synergizing heroes.
Yes, yeah.
So you want to have like Black Panther or Miss Marvel. I'm not even a Miss Marvel fan because of the MCU, but in the card game, fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, and I discovered that when I went to that thing at Dragons Lair, I only brought my Venom card, but like the event was held because an expansion had just come out, and it was an X-Men themes expansion. So I'm like, it did feel kind of weird that everyone was playing X-Men, and I'm like, here I am as Agent Venom, just fucking shooting people.
Did you get to play
Yeah.
with strangers?
Yeah, I played with strangers. It was a big day for me, bro.
Yeah.
But I went home and I'm like, I can't do anything else for the rest of the weekend.
It's funny enough. I'm going to be at Dragon's Lair like on Sunday, and because they have a new thing that's coming out.
Another new one?
Another
already?
new one. Yeah.
God,
Dog Pokemon Company fucking just
They crank that
they
shit
go
out.
crank it, bro.
sheesh.
They crank that like a hog.
No, so yeah, you spend a fair amount of time at these shops, like
Yeah.
whether it was for Magic or Pokemon now.
Yeah.
Do you see people playing Marvel Champions when you're
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
So like at Game Castle, I see them. They have like a whole setup.
Okay, Gamecast. Wait, is that the one that you took
It's-
me to? That was
It's on Parmer.
okay. Yeah, I think I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
That they game. Another one is like Bells in Round Rock. They game.
Okay.
But But
Yeah, because I'm always Googling for events, which is how I found the one that I went to. But like, they're not posting that shit anywhere.
So Dragon Slayer, like even they rarely post it. But like, I know that whenever there's something new, Dragon Slayer always will have it.
Okay.
And they also have people who like just play it.
Gotcha. Well, then maybe I should head over there sometime soon because actually, we're shooting this episode, a new expansion for Marvel Champions just came out.
Bet you they have an event for it.
I bet. Yeah, I'd be willing to bet. So that'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good game as far as what it is. The everything about it is kind of just enjoyable for me.
Yeah, it's the way it comes. Like you can pick it up. So, I mean, okay, it's a card game, right? It is a card game. It's a little bit more complex than, say,
Monopoly,
Chutes and Ladders. Yeah. It takes a little bit to pick it up, but honestly, like compared to a lot of other card games, it's not really bad, and especially because it comes with these pre-made decks. I feel like if you're wanting to like kind of dive into something like this is the one to do it with. Because like I said, Fantasy Flight. They've got so many games that they've put out.
They're good. They're good.
And they across a lot of different IPs. Like they have like a Lord of the Rings version of this. They have like Game of Thrones games.
Lord of the Rings. What the?
Yeah. And then also, I don't know if you're familiar with Arkham Horror. Kind of just there's like a lot of different Arkham Horror type.
Oh, they're the
games.
Arkham Horror.
They have an Arkham Horror like living card game. Because there's also the board game version out there. They actually have a card game, which actually it's over on the counter right there. But so they have a lot of different games like this, but this one I think is the most like accessible if you're just starting out. You know what I mean?
It's a good. So if you have kids that love heroes, or they're like not too young, I think that this is a good way to like kind of spend time with them.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like my kid's grown. My kid's a teenager, so he's kind of a dickhead. But like if you have like a kid who's interested in kind of learning a board game, or you want to play a board game with them, this is one that would probably be cool as like if you were to play it with your kid.
Yeah.
Like you and your kid like busting at like kicking.
When I went to that event,
Rhino's teeth.
Two of the people that I played with in my group were dad and son.
Yeah, because it makes sense. And let's say that you don't want to buy it. I'm sure that local card shops, local hobby stores around wherever you live, will have this.
Yeah,
and I'm sure that they have trial sets. Y'all should go play it.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
I want to give a quick recap on this.
Okay.
So, Marvel Champions is a living card game. A living card game is a game that is able to operate on itself. And you can play this solo or with a group. Different dynamics, of course. They have expansion packs that includes Thanos, Red Skull, Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. And they all improve the gameplay for every single time you update. They also have different heroes that you could get. So if you like a specific hero, you can get it.
And there are quite a few.
There's a lot.
Like I said, this came out initially in 2019, so they've been at it for like a few years now. And so there's quite a few characters out there.
And then let me see. It is not too difficult to learn. There's a bunch of YouTube videos, but also the website that Dorian was saying.
Which is marvelcdb.com.
Oh, shit. I have to do that now.
Explosions everywhere.
Oh, no. But that's essentially like what I want you guys to take out of this. I think it's a very fun game. You can make it as competitive as you'd like.
Yeah.
And there's also, like he said, it's funny because it's a cardboard in-person game, but people have made mods to where there's different rule sets.
Yeah, and actually, again, at that event, the guy who was running it printed out like these cards with like kind of bonus objectives that we could do, and if we accomplished them, that's how I got the those little additional variants, because like like the fight that we were doing involved us having to like make sure that these like NPC cards didn't die. And like because we got through the encounter with none of them dying, like I got to like get a cool little prize variant card and stuff. So
you can make it more difficult. You could also
less
ease it up.
difficult. Yeah, exactly.
And that's how you should play and look at this game. I enjoy it. I like playing it. I am a big fan of card building, and so this definitely hit a spot because as soon as the day after we played, I went through the spreadsheet. I went and bought the cards I needed.
Yeah.
And I made the deck the next day. And then like the next time we showed up to like play at Dorian's house, I took over the game and he was like, "Are you for real?"
Yeah, because I was still using the pre-made,
The basic,
the basic Scarlet Witch deck, which is like,
You didn't do anything.
yeah, because with her, like I said, the deck still works, but like you can definitely optimize if you actually start taking cards from other decks and stuff and mixing and matching, which I guess that's something that we didn't really touch on too much, but that's a big part of it is like you want to get all these different decks so that you can take different cards from different hero packs and make like a really good one. And so,
you didn't do.
I didn't have my turbo draw deck yet, where I go through my entire deck in one turn.
I went through my deck in one turn.
Yeah,
I evolved in like 2 turns.
Now, I guess one downside to getting into something like this,
it costs money sometimes.
Yes. Oh my god,
it does cost money.
If you want to like really dive in and like you have a specific character that you want to play as, but not only you have a specific character, you want to make the best possible deck. Well, that's going to require you buying all these other characters' decks / expansions. Here's
my tip on that. I didn't say it, but I've heard and seen some people who go online and there is a proxy maker where they can make proxies of the cards. You print it with a colored printer. You could bring it at Kinko's for like 54 cents per page, full color. They have the blades that you can cut there. You cut it at Kinko's. You put it in the sleeve. And now you have that same exact card. And you honestly cannot tell the difference.
Right before you said all of that, did you just say, I didn't say any of this?
Yeah, I saw it online.
We're recording right now.
I would never suggest you because that's like piracy or something.
Yeah, definitely don't go to Kinko's and use this amazing process. Yeah. Or just play on Tabletop Simulator.
Or play on Tabletop Sim. And honestly, I think that's all I have for this game. I'm a big fan.
Yes, yeah, and yeah, we're gonna put out. It's gonna be a gameplay video of this. It's gonna be
a little bit experimental.
Yeah. We kind of did some test footage using a different game the other day, but we hope it turns out. We hope you guys like it because we want to show you.
It looks fucking cool.
Yeah. We really want to show you like what playing this game is like.
Because it's so fun.
Yeah,
it's a ton of fun.
It's so fun. Things can go sideways fast. They can go sideways fast. But yeah, that's all I have to really talk about on this game. Do we have like a little teaser of what we might be talking about next time?
Oh, yeah, I think so. This is the episode.